rationalize, justify it, if you will, what I was doing by speaking through my work.
Legitimized on the off chance that you will what I was going about by talking through my responsibilities, put God first, there was some fullness, definitely obscenity, was I been a cowpoke fan since I was around 6. I said better believe it, like you bring a few Jewish individuals into a room, and you they believe it's a shower yet it's gas. And they said right, I said right, that ain't nothing to joke about so, too it was actually a major buzzkill amusing in Hollywood. A couple of entertainers can profess to have achieved even 50% of what the unbelievable Denzel Washington has accomplished beginning from an unobtrusive beginning as a TV entertainer. At first behind the scenes he has arisen like a phoenix to set up a good foundation for himself as a spearheading figure in a domain where goals habitually won he remains as a momentous figure, being only the second African-American entertainer to get a handle on the esteemed Oscar for Best Entertainer. It is in that equivalent soul that when he talks on things happening in Hollywood, everybody tunes in. And believes me, it seems as though he just dropped a significant sensation this time. It seems the famous entertainer has emerged to uncover the decay and holly odd. And this time it is by all accounts about a specific practice that any normal individual would find frightful. The disadvantages of this industry start from the dark young people who are truly the transporter of their families. It is seen that since the presence of this industry youngsters were never safeguarded, the most eminent model was seen by Georgia Tann, a famous child representative known for coordinating the unlawful reception of youngsters who were frequently taken from their natural guardians, a reception embarrassment that stunned the country, an antagonist flying under the radar, and north of 5,000 youngsters whose lives could never go back. Georgia Tann once had a decent standing working at the Tennessee Kids Home Society to facilitate the selections of various children who had been surrendered by their folks at this point. It became exposed years after the fact that she truly dealt with the offer of basically bootleg market dark young people, and assessed 5,000 youngsters were bootleg market sold through Georgia Tann's reception ring. More troubled still, a significant number of the supportive families had no clue about the thing they were supporting. Nobody knows, or maybe cares to recollect the specific day the Tennessee Youngsters Home Society in Memphis shut. What is known is that quite a while back in late November or early December, the spot laborers, later called a place of detestation, shut its entryways for good, while the actual conclusion might have driven the home into haziness. The significant effect it had on the existences of north of 5,000 youngsters waits in memory. What makes this story especially tormenting isn't simply the way that a significant number of the youngsters experienced orphanhood, or yet that they were truly taken. The fact of the matter is most of these kids were hijacked, taken, or seized under bogus means. Georgia Tann would target unfortunate families who couldn't retaliate. For north of 20 years, Georgia Tann worked the Tennessee Youngsters Home Society, utilizing a complex organization of partners to participate in a frightening endeavor of capturing and abuse. Their evil goal was to kidnap dark youngsters and afterward offer them to princely new parents for a significant benefit. One of Tann's favored strategies was to voyage through devastated areas, singling out the most appealing kids and captivating them into her smooth, dark extravagance vehicle. Once these kids were in her guardianship, they were frequently never rejoined with their families. Their kids would be removed, assuming some pretense of something great, and never be offered back. Tann profited by the absence of reception guidelines at the time, taking advantage of the franticness of planned guardians to guarantee their quiet examinations. Led after the conclusion of the home, uncovered that numerous youngsters died while under Tann's alleged consideration. The people who endure their time at the Tennessee Kids Home Society actually bear the profound scars of Tann's uncontrolled brutality and unrestrained eagerness. Sally Brandon is one of only a handful of exceptional Youngsters Home Society adoptees who actually recall Tann. She was an adjusted woman who wore glasses and conveyed a little handbag Brandon told Insider, "I recollect her being a harsh, extreme Lady Brandon, and her two siblings were isolated and sold by Tan with their light hair and blue eyes. The triplet was ideal prey for Tan. She stashed near $2,700 in the arrangement, almost $40,000 in the present cash. She consistently took infants from patients at mental emergency clinics, took kids from the road, and surprisingly, paid specialists and medical caretakers to give her infants and tell the guardians they had kicked the bucket. Tan would then change their name so they were difficult for organic guardians to find. This was no little activity. Somewhere in the range of 1924 and 1950, Tan took more than 5,000 kids, 500 of whom kicked the bucket, while in her consideration Tan even took out paper promotions, highlighting lovely youngsters with inscriptions. For example, "Need a genuinely live Christmas present," as though they were just playthings. Georgia Tan would be given a tip that these kids were let be. She would then head to these houses in her dark extravagance Packer vehicle, offer the youngsters a ride, and bait them out of their homes. All through her activity, Georgia Tan figured out how to keep the starting points of the youngsters. She gave a carefully hidden mystery. Notwithstanding periodic murmurs of doubt, a portion of her most unmistakable clients were well off, especially notable entertainers and entertainers who could undoubtedly bear the cost of the significant expenses expected to get a kid, which added up to $5,000 at the time. Besides, they could sidestep the holding up periods related with authentic reception organizations and try not to remove time from work because a pregnancy gene gained infants to sell was by making the most of frantic moms who were not pregnant in a socially oak manner. Among the outstanding figures who utilized the Tennessee Kids Home Society administrations were VIPs like Mary Ford Smiley Burnett, Lana Turner Pearls Buck, and previous New York lead representative Herbert Len June Allison, and her better half additionally taken on their little girl Pamela through the office. Curiously verifiable photographs from that period some of the time distort Pamela as the natural offspring of June Allison's better half Dick Powell from his most memorable marriage, as opposed to accurately distinguishing her as a took-on kid VIPs like Joan Crawford Pearls Buck. And surprisingly, the New York lead representative took on Tan youngsters. These big names and many normal families generally accepted that they were giving these youngsters a home that anyway. A few casualties were sold as underage ranch hands or homegrown skes. Now there are convictions that behind these rearing homesteads were for the most part dark entertainers, as they typically filled in as captives of the business elites. This should be visible in the cutting-edge days, too, that many dark comics have decided to wear dresses in quest for giggling. The juxtaposition of a transcending presence in heels makes an innately preposterous and thusly hilarious visual. Yet the ramifications run further. This pattern has seen various dark male humorists embracing dressing in drag for comedic impact. What is the cost of this parody, established in dressing in drag, as Dave Chappelle said? Like when I see that they put each person of color in the motion pictures in a dress sooner or later in their vocation, I'd interface D like why this multitude of siblings got wear dress during a new appearance on Oprah's show. Comic Dave Chappelle raised a provocative question. He contemplated the pervasiveness of achieved coercion performers turning to dressing in drag during some period of their vocations. Strikingly, Martin Lawrence accomplished acknowledgement for his lead job in the enormous Mom's Home series. Correspondingly, Eddie Murphy incorporated a female person among the variety of jobs he attempted in his Nutty Teacher movie series. This happened to me. I'm doing a film with Martin, better believe it. The film's going great, so I stroll in a trailer. I'm similar to man. This should be some unacceptable trailer. 'Cause there's a dress in here. Jamie Foxx made some meaningful difference with the remarkable, terrible Wanda persona on Unfiltered and Fabulous, while Marlon and Sean Wan's embraced orientation inversion for their parts in White Chicks. Furthermore, the disastrous Joanna Man film from a couple of years back Stays a section we might wish to put behind us. I'm here. Ooh, that young lady getting our truly Yushmi right among these occasions. One sort stands apart as the most conspicuous drag queen within recent memory, Tyler Perry, known for his amusement adventures, as well as for his traditional zealous impact. Perry's media establishment has made impressive progress. An acknowledgement the Hellfire is the biggest shopping day of the year. Each Friday will be Friday on Dark. That is the huge shopping day. After Thanksgiving, what you discussing, while Tyler Perry has cut a prosperous way inside the gospel play domain, he's really stretched out his victory to the movie business, carrying his contemporary depiction to a bigger realistic material. Knows it's a face place, it's like Broadway, just with individuals of color, currently observing this large number of height exercises going on. Denzel likewise approached to uncover what is truly occurring in the business by a confounding inquiry, heaps on waiting in the personalities of numerous